Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from the flight deck. We're cruising at 37,000 feet. We just passed over the coast. We'll be beginning our descent in about 30 minutes. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to America.
Yeah.
So beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of green, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. A thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. These words by Catherine Lee Bates describe what immigrants dreamed and hoped for in America. But as thousands and millions of immigrants have flocked to these shores, have their dreams been fulfilled, or have they been leached away by oppression and racism? The answer to this question differs greatly based on who it was that came and where they settled. We will delve into the intricacies of answering this complicated question. In order to do this, we must first understand what was happening in America at this time. America had just undergone a civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. That was from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. After winning the war and issuing the 13th Amendment, Lincoln was about to traverse upon the road of Reconstruction, when in the space of an instant, or the pull of a trigger, America's dreams of a peaceful reconciliation of their two parts shattered. On April 15, 1865, Abraham Lincoln died from a bullet to the back of the head. For the next century, America was plagued by violence, racism, and resentment. But when gold was discovered in California on January 24, 1848, a flood of people swarmed to the west coast. As news of this gold strike spread to the rest of the world, a flood of immigrants rushed to America's doors. One special group of immigrants has left their mark deeply ingrained in the fabric of America's being: the Chinese. The Chinese came to America because of better jobs, better pay, and new opportunity. But they also came to America because of social and political factors that were pressuring them to. At this time, China was racked by civil unrest. The ruling class was racked by corruption. They taxed their peasants into the ground. The entire country was enveloped in war. Fights broke out everywhere, destroying settlements, farms, houses, and land. Also, the land was plagued by drought, which destroyed the crops for many years, driving the country to the brink of starvation. So when the stories of gold and the chance to strike it rich reached China, many Chinese people jumped at the chance of immigrating to America. They planned on making enough money to be able to send some back and support their families with their new jobs. Also before this time, China was an isolationist country, meaning that the European nations were not allowed entrance to China except by certain ports. But the European nations pressured the Chinese government to open up the country so that they could sell their goods there. And so the British invaded China, forcefully opened their doors to the world. This is called the Opium War. The U.S. also pressured China to open their doors so that Chinese men could immigrate to the U.S. because they were wanted for cheap labor. At first, immigration was illegal. Therefore, in order to immigrate to the U.S., the Chinese had to pay outrageous sums of money, thus ensuring that once they actually got to the land of opportunity, they would be in serious debt. And after getting to the U.S., they were barraged by racism, which made their integration process nearly impossible. The immigration of Chinese was also influenced by economic factors. In China, the common person had to scrape by an existence on little to no income. So when given the chance to get paid what seemed to them a lot of money in America, they jumped at the chance and came by their thousands. The Chinese, when they arrived, came mostly to California. They settled in the inner city of many big Californian cities such as San Francisco. They settled here because Chinatown ghettos had sprung up, and they tended to settle with their own nationality. Also, housing here was inexpensive because of the close proximity with others and the overcrowding and rundown nature of the dwellings. The Chinese were contract workers. They did the dangerous and disgusting jobs that no one else wanted to do. They also opened up many laundromats, restaurants, and other stores. They were also hired to build a transcontinental railroad. The Chinese influenced the country by their hard work ethic. They were known as hard, steady workers. This group of immigrants were not welcomed to the U.S. by many people. Because of their hard work ethic, obvious differences in appearance, difference in culture, and difference in language, the Chinese did not assimilate quickly into the U.S. culture. But because of their hard work ethic, many Chinese businesses became large and wealthy. The other Americans did not respond well to the Chinese immigrants. Because of the Chinese's willingness to work for lower wages, it drove many whites out of a job. Also because of the ethnic and cultural differences, the Chinese were subject to intense racial attacks. In fact, the first immigration restricting laws was passed for the Chinese. It was called the Chinese Exclusion Act. It barred Chinese immigrants for 10 years from coming to America. It also disallowed Chinese in the U.S. to become U.S. citizens. After the 10 years were up, there was a restrictive number on the amount of Chinese people allowed to immigrate. Racism continued for decades leading up to World War II. But after the U.S. soldiers fought with their Chinese allies, the bans on immigration were lifted and the Chinese were able to more fully integrate into the U.S. culture. The Chinese kept many of their customs as they came to the U.S. It is now part of the American culture too. They brought the Chinese New Year, Chinese food, and ping pong. The Chinese came to the U.S. because it was a land of opportunity. They were looking to remake their lives. But the American people could not put aside their racism to welcome these new people into their country. Because of that, the Chinese were subject to racist laws and attitudes. It was only after World War II that the Chinese finally got the equality that was promised to all men under the Constitution. Have the dreams of immigrants finally come true? You can't find a major city in the U.S. without a Chinatown. There's a Chinese restaurant in literally every town. But does that mean that the Chinese are accepted? Maybe they are culturally and ethnically accepted, but are those racist feelings truly gone? Has the Chinese been accepted as equal to the white, or is there an invisible line that neither side will cross to bridge the gap between the two cultures? Only time will tell. As Martin Luther once said, I would dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
I was made in America, land of the free, home of the brave. And right up under your nose, you might see a sex slave being traded. And would do anything for the money. Boy, mama might sell her babies. Sell porn, sell pills, anything to pay the bills, anything to bring that paper. Gotta scratch that itch, gotta scratch them ticks. Ain't rich, but I might be. And I'ma shoot these flicks, I'ma turn these tricks, anything for a slight fee. Yeah, made in America. Mama told me that I belong here. Had to earn our stripes, had to learn our rights, had to fight for a home here. But I wouldn't know a thing about that. All I know is drugs and rap. I probably could have been some kind of doctor instead of holding guns and crack. I was born in the mainland, great-grandpa from a strange land. He was stripped away and given bricks to lay. I guess you could say he a slave hand, but I was made in America, so I don't know a thing about that. All I know is Uncle Sam looking for me, working on his corner, so I know I gotta pay tax. Getting paid in America, I was raised in America, and this is all I ever known. If I'm wrong, then you better come save me, America. Welcome to 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 America. Man, I die for America. I served my time for America. Got shot back, went to war, got back, and ain't nobody give a jack in America. I could've lost my life, why I lost my wife? I can't even get right in my homeland. Cold sweats, whole text, paranoid, looking out for a threat in my own land. I was trained in America. How they get up in the planes in America? Flew right into the buildings, taking out the buildings. People getting killed in America. And I'm still in America. Though America ain't feeling me, I went to war for this country. Turned around, came home, and you drilling me? When y'all free here, saying you don't wanna be here, well, you probably couldn't breathe here if I didn't load a couple magazines here. Y'all just complaining in America. I'm jumping out of military planes from America. Hey, I was made in America. That's why I'm out here saving America. I got a brother in the cemetery now cause he wanted y'all safe. And everybody want the freedom, but nobody want to hear about face. We bled for America, to keep y'all fed in America. But what's the point of talking? A lot of y'all don't really even care, America. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. to America. I wish I lived in America. Wanna raise my kids in America. Heard everybody rich, all I gotta do is run, jump, kick. I'm a hit in your area. So please pick me, America. I know you probably never loved me. You never hear about me on the news, and you probably never been to my country. I hear you selling education, and got clothes that you throw away. Got plenty food in your nation. I can tell cause a lot of y'all are overweight. I already work for y'all. I'm in the sweatshops making these shirts for y'all. Now I ain't getting money, go to bed hungry, but I make some exports for y'all. Y'all don't know a thing about that. You was made in America. I'm trying to find me a ticket where the sky is the limit, catch a plane to America. It should be plane to America. Y'all blessed and you got it made. Heard y'all don't pray no more, y'all ain't say no more. Y'all looking for another way. Well, I hope it ain't true, but I'm packing my suit. Farewell to my motherland. Said bye to my loved ones. Fate, here I come, I'm going to another land. I done made it to America. I'm amazed at America. But I couldn't get approval to stay, so they sent me away from America.